has been a wild morning here at Barber Motorsports Park. Those of you that maybe watched on social media are here trackside right now at the facility. A bunch of rain coming in, putting everything kind of on a hold. We had some lightning as well. Every time that happens, we reset the clock to 30 minutes. Luckily, we're going racing. We just wrapped up with Indy Lights here trackside, and all the drivers in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship have rolled themselves onto pit lane. We are very close to getting things underway and firing these engines up. We still have some of our service vehicles out on the racetrack here right now. We'll get them back into position, and we'll be able to go green flag racing. My name's Rob Howden, the voice of this Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. And as we said, 19 drivers getting set to go onto pit lane here for USF 2000 to cap off their part of the doubleheader. We'll give you the lineup of these drivers here after we fire them up. And joining me up here, one of our guests from Andersson Interior Contracting. We'll introduce our guest here momentarily. But as I said, 19 drivers getting ready to go to fire things up for this Cooper Tires Grand Prix of Alabama. Should be some great racing on what is now a dry racetrack. And again, engines getting ready to fire, as we said, folks, from Andersson Interior Contracting. One of our guests here right now, Jacob Odom from Doster Construction.
On behalf of everyone at Doster Construction, drivers, start your engines.
And there you go, the call to fire engines down on pit lane. We will get things underway. Jacob, thank you so much for joining us once again. Awesome to have him here, a big race fan. Getting a chance to be up here actually in the PA booth here today with the truncated schedule, jamming everything together. Not able to be down on pit lane to do that command as we have done throughout the weekend. But it is time to go racing here now with 19 drivers ready to rock and roll. Let's have a look at the grid as they're pulling away right now. Starting at the tail of the field, Eo Ruli from J. Howard Driver Development, the number 7 in the 19 spot. Row number 9, we'll see Danny Dzelski, the young rookie, his maiden weekend here in USF 2000, just 14 years of age. Dzelski for J. Howard Driver Development in the number 8, starting 18th. Teammate alongside him, Jorge Garcias from Mexico, the rookie in the number 9, starting in 17th. We'll go to row number 8 now. Trey Burke in the Joe Dueling Autosport Curb Agajanian entry. He'll start in the 16th spot in the number 63. Inside of that row for Velocity Racing Development, the driver from Sweden, Victor Andersson, got a 13th place finish yesterday. We'll try to work his way forward here today. He'll start P15. Row number 7 now. It'll be Spike KOHLBECKER on the outside for turn 3. Motorsports driver to St. Louis, Missouri, the number 33, second-year driver in the series. Alongside him, fellow sophomore Dylan Christie for D-Force Racing, Christie in the number 11. Up to row number 6, Jacob Douglas from all the way in New Zealand, the rookie driver here this season coming for Exclusive Autosport. Jacob Douglas in the number 90 starting in 12th spot. Inside of that row out of California, it's Nikki Hayes for Cape Motorsports. Freshman driver signed just before the start of the season, only a couple of test days, then straight into St. Petersburg. More racing, more seat time is going to be good for Nikki Hayes. Watch that white number 5 working his way from 11th spot. We'll go into the top 10 right now. On the outside, it'll be Jackson Lee for Cape Motorsports out of Avon, Indiana. He'll start second. Inside of that row, driver who finished second yesterday, currently second place in the points. Very tight on top of the championship standings. Billy Fraser out of New Zealand. Driving that number 92 Corpay machine for Exclusive Autosport. Excellent pass on the final circuit to get by Simon Sykes to go to P2. Little more work to do for Fraser today, starting in the 9th position. We'll go now to row number 4, starting on the outside in the Radford Racing School. Number 23 for Pabst Racing, it is Jace Denmark starting in the 8th spot. Inside out of Oka, Quebec, Canada, running for D-Force Racing, it's Thomas Naveau in the number 10, a winner last year at Road America. Second-year driver in the series. Row number 3 will have Bajoy Garg on the outside for D-Force Racing in the number 12, and on the inside from Hartsdale, New York, for Cape Motorsports, last year's championship runner-up, Michael D'Orlando in the number 4, starting P5. We'll go down to row number 2. Simon Sykes, great run yesterday, almost on the podium, if not for a little off on the final circuit when he lost second spot to Billy Fraser. Simon Sykes, two-time SCCA National Championship runoffs winner, running for Legacy Autosport, the number 19 Metalloid entry. He'll start P4. Alongside him, Jagger Jones out of Arizona for Cape Motorsports, the rookie in the number 3. 19 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. They'll work their way onto the front straightaway right now, and for some reason, drivers not lining up. Maybe one lap around the racetrack here, and you need yellow flag flying trackside. So I believe maybe one lap around, get some heat into these tires. Leader Christian, a couple of drivers have come into pit lane for some reason. I think they're followed the pace car in. We'll get them all lined up when they come back out. You can see that now on the screen. Some of the drivers down pit lane following the pace car, some around the racetrack. Unsure what happened here. But let's have a look at the drivers who will start on the front row. As I said, 19 racers ready to go. Starting on the off pole for Pabst Racing, the winner of the last 2 races of the series, won the second end of the doubleheader at St. Petersburg, and won yesterday from pole position. Miles Rowe from New York, in the number 22 machine. An impressive run from pole. An intriguing story of a young driver who does not have the budget to keep racing. This could be the last race of the season for Miles Rowe. If he does not find some funding to move forward, we'll see what happens here starting from the outside of the front row. It was a weird qualifying session. We had a number of drivers who were ready to dial things in when the fresh tires went on, but we had a couple of red flags that kept stopping the end of that session. And a number of drivers really not able to get a fast time. And the actual guy who's starting on the pole position didn't even get a fast lap on his new tires at the end of that session either, but he was able to maximize the used tires to start the session. Christian Weir for Turn 3 Motorsports, his first career pole in the number 32. He will be up front. It's now a 25-minute timed race as we're locking things down here a bit, so a 25-minute race here as we get set to go. Christian Weir and Miles Rowe on row 1, Jagger Jones and Simon Sykes row 2, Michael D'Orlando, Bajoy Garg row 4, then it's Nepvu and Nouveau and Denmark on row 4, Fraser Lee row 5, Hayes and Douglas row 6, Christian KOHLBECKER on row 7, Andersson and Burke row 8, Garcias and Dazelski row 9, and Lee on row number 10. Joining me in the booth today is my driver analyst, one of our racers from the USF Juniors program, Nick D'Orlando, the younger brother of Michael D'Orlando. Give me some insight here. We're getting ready to go green flag racing. Pumped to be in the booth?
Hi, Rob. Thanks for having me out here. So the track, as we know, is now dry after a lovely thunderstorm this morning. Drivers are going to have to figure out where grip has been placed and misplaced from that race. But, you know, it's dry, so we're looking good.
Drivers coming out here, and as he said, they're going to have to find grip and find out where the grip has been lost from yesterday. Field set, 2x2. Time to go racing for USF 2000. Green, green, green. And they'll power their way down the straightaway. We've got to watch the inside there. It's a little bit of moisture in the bottom of the racetrack still. They'll work their way through turn number 1, down the hill, climbing back up the hill through the Alabama roller coaster. And we are underway. Drivers cleanly through the opening couple of corners, but still too wide through turn 3 and up through turn number 4. This is where you can get an opportunity to make passes. The drivers have to be very smart. Weir will run the bottom of the racetrack coming into the corner. Look at this, 2, almost 3 wide further back as well. Drivers giving each other just enough room so far. The exit precarious coming out of turn 5. Back up over the hill, and we are underway. Working their way now down to turn 7 and 8. The downhill right, left, right combination. They go over the curbing there, back in through the right-hander. One driver shooting off to the outside. Someone's lost a wing for sure. You saw that part shot up into the air. So someone with some front wing damage out of turn number 8 onto the back straightaway for the first time. Drivers settling in here. Everybody trying to grab a spot. Nick, you ran USF Juniors on Thursday and Friday. You could attest these starts are hectic here at Barber.
They are absolutely insane into the crazy corner that is number 1, and going into number 2, being a fast left-right into the start of the race. So much congestion is created from just the type of corner that we have there. So it's just trying to keep the car out of you know, an unsafe position and get around for the first lap so you can settle in and go fast. That's really what these drivers are trying to do over here now. Then we got 3 wide into corner 1 towards the back. I believe that's Jackson Lee on the inside. What a fantastic pass there. So
let's have a look here though real quickly. One of the drivers got the incident coming in here, the contact. We saw the tires go up. That was Billy Fraser with the front wing damage. Second place yesterday, second in the points. Fraser started in 9th spot. The team going to work, getting this front wing back on. Fraser's going to have to hope for a yellow flag if he wants to get back into contention. The exclusive Autosport crew going to work trying to get this front wing on this race car. So trouble there for Billy Fraser. Did not go well for him after that fantastic pass yesterday to go to P2. they'll do what they can to get him back on it. We are still green flag racing early on, and we are at it here as the drivers work their way down the back straightaway. Jagger Jones, I believe, able to go into the lead here early. So Jones of the Cape Motorsports machine taking over the early lead, and he and his teammate Michael D'Orlando stretching away. Christian Weir from the pole slotting back into third, Miles Rowe into fourth, Thomas DeVoe in fifth spot, Simon Sykes sixth, Jace Denmark seventh, Nicky Hayes, Jacob Douglas, and Dylan Christie rounding out the top 10. Billy Fraser, they've got that nose on, and he's back onto the racetrack now, but they're going to be chasing him down. He'll need that yellow flag. But again, pretty good start. Let's talk about your brother right now, Nick. Michael getting right in there to P2. Solid start for him. Started back at P5, but kind of takes advantage of some of the chaos of the opening lap.
So yeah, definitely took some advantage of the chaos happening there. We saw two by two for the first two rows into corner 5, and then just Michael decided he would take the outside line to try and get into the inside for corner 8. And he just got it done. So it was a good move there. Some fantastic battling in the first laps here.
You've done a lot of racing. I know, obviously, racing and karting. You've been a top karter, championship karter here in the U.S. You had a chance to go race in Europe as well. You're into this USF Juniors program here. If you're where your brother is right now, let's start talking strategy a bit. You're sitting P2. You got your teammate in front of you. What's the concept right now? Is it just to try to stay with him, take care of the tires, so you're good to go at the end of the race?
So his best strategy right now is to evaluate his pace and the pace of the driver in front of him to figure out, does he need to take that position and try and build the lead, or is he going to sit back and watch Jagger, push and push and push to learn where the time is and figure out how to go faster and get him there in the end. So, but he doesn't want to waste his tires too much there because we have the aero wash here at Barber. It's very, very apparent.
Yeah,
so.
Very good point. One of the things about the tires here at Barber, you have aero wash. As soon as you lose that air coming off the front wing of the race car, then the tires start to push a bit. You have to put a little more input in. You're going to get that mid-corner push, that understeer, and that burns the tires off a little bit. So you're always looking to maybe have a different line to the guy up front to get a little more wing coming, air coming over the front wing to get that downforce you need. Anytime the car is sliding, it's punishing the tires. And this racetrack, predominantly right-hand corner, so it really works over the left front. Jones now leading by just over half a second last time by. Billy Fraser able to stay on the lead lap after his team got that wing fixed. He is going to be wishing and hoping for a yellow flag that could potentially get him back to the tail of the field. Jones, D'Orlando, Weir, Rowe, and Simon Sykes, your current top 5. 6th is Nouveau, 7th Hayes, 8th Denmark, 9th Jacob Douglas, 10th Dylan Christie. Jackson Lee runs 11th, Bajoy Garg in 12th, Spike Kohlbecker 13th, Jorge Garcias in 14th, Trey Burke 15th, Victor Anderson, Danny Dezelski, Yeo Lee, and Billy Fraser, as we said, rounding out the 19-driver field here. We don't really need to look at laps right now. 4 down. It is a 25-minute timed race, as we said. 17 minutes still to go. And Jagger Jones, who got his first career podium finish at St. Petersburg in only his second USF 2000 start, now finds himself as the leader here in race number 4 of the season, the back end of the doubleheader here at Barber Motorsports Park. Nick, leading races is interesting, right? It's you think about this, hey, it's his first time leading a USF 2000 race, but many people don't realize there's so much experience you guys have had. You guys have led countless races in your career. When you get here, it's not like it's the first time you've ever been up front before.
Yeah, when you're leading a race, especially like this one, there's a lot of pressure from behind. So you just want to be cognizant of that and just try and put your laps together and focus on you for a little while. So, that's the main goal when you're out front.
That's 100% it. And again, the beauty of that is no one putting the pressure on you right now. No one diving in to try to make some moves. No one taking the arrow away here. Less than 16 minutes remain right now. We got a battle here. I believe that a good fight going on there for that 3rd and 4th positions here right now as they are getting at it. And I think it looks to me like, yeah, maybe Miles Rowe has worked his way up into 3rd. Let's try to pick that up. Indeed, Miles Rowe's into 4th. He's been able to get by Simon Sykes, so move Rowe up another spot. Miles Rowe coming in as the point leader, actually tied with his teammate Jace Denmark with 67 points, but on the strength of his 2 wins compared to just the 1 for Jace Denmark, that has given him the outright point lead. And again, looking strong here now, running P4. Jones out front, though. His teammate Michael D'Orlando putting on the pressure, only 0.8 of a second back. They get a full second back to Christian Weir, who runs by himself P3. Christian, a number of starts at the end of the season last year. Full season program for Weir for Turn 3 Motorsports here in 2022. Jones, D'Orlando, Weir, Rowe, and Sykes. Good job there for Rowe to get by Sykes as they work their way to turn number 5. Right behind them, though, Thomas DeVoe starting to get aggressive too. Let's see if we'll start looking at lap times as well. Does Miles Rowe have the pace to potentially reel in Christian Weir here to get on the podium once again? Jones out front, though, and that open racetrack, obviously everything a race driver wants. Open racetrack, clean air going over, able to take care of the tires, able to manage the pace. That's the other thing about leading as well. You can kind of manage that pace. You dictate how quick you need to be. If you have a 2-second lead or a 1-second lead, as long as you can maintain that and still take care of the tires, you're in good shape. A little fight further back potentially as well between Jace Denmark and Nicky Hayes. Those drivers essentially nose to tail. Denmark, again, point leader tied with his teammate. 14 minutes remaining. There's the gap. There's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, 8th, and 9th. Hayes, Denmark, and Jacob Douglas having a good run here on the number 90. Douglas, his first year running in the program with Exclusive Autosport, coming over from New Zealand. So putting in some good journeyman results so far. That's what it's all about, your first season like that. Just 16 years of age, Jacob Douglas, learning all these racetracks, learning the culture here in the U.S., learning the race car itself, the Tatis USF 22. These cars, of course, newly updated for this year with the Halo-type device. Same with the Indy Pro 2000 cars. Mid-race right now, Nick, this is kind of when you settle it a little bit, right? To try to see if you can't get a feel for the car, take care of the tires. Yeah, you could be in the middle of a battle, but everybody kind of taking care of the tires right now for the push to the end.
Especially for these front guys, yeah. They're only focused on keeping their cars and their tires up to temp and up to speed. So they're trying to manage themselves to get to the end of the race as consistent as possible. And the guys in the back are trying to facilitate ways to get around each other or to position themselves in better positions for the end of the race as well. So, it's kind of a standstill a little bit right now especially for the guys in the front with so much space in between them. But towards the back, we got some guys really focused on moving forward, and even in the top 5 still with Simon Sykes right behind Miles Rowe. So, be watching on that battle.
Yeah, there's a couple of good battles, as you said. Rowe and Sykes, and we've still been watching that fight as well, potentially between Nicky Hayes and Jace Denmark. Denmark right on the gearbox as they work their way down into turn number 1 the last time. Jones pulling out a pretty nice little lead right now, a full second over D'Orlando. Again, seeing if we can get a battle here. I want to say there might have been a stretch there. What happened between that battle between, I think Hayes went back a couple of spots. I think Nicky Hayes has gone back a couple of positions right now. We'll probably pick this up. Jones still out front, though. Again, almost a full second last time by for Jagger Jones. Indeed, a driver off in turn number 1, I'm being told. I couldn't see the white car there, so able to come back onto the racetrack. So, wow, trouble there for Nicky Hayes. I talked about the pressure being put on by Jace Denmark. Was right on the gearbox coming down into turn number 1, and Hayes having some trouble in 1, goes off the racetrack, able to come back on. We'll find out where he slots in, but that is going to move Jace Denmark up into 7th, Jacob Douglas up into 8th, Dylan Christie up into 9th. I didn't quite see it on the monitor, Nick. You see them when they come back to turn number 5, you get that car lost, and all of a sudden you're looking around. Tough one for Nicky Hayes.
Yeah, it's corner 1's so difficult, and you're trying to get your speed up into there to get some positions and find yourself in a good spot exiting corner 2 to get a spot in 5. So if Nicky pushed maybe a little too hard in there and just drove 1 wheel off, 2 wheels off, or even all 4, but it's all part of it. When you're trying to position yourself like at this track, because corner 5 is a fantastic passing zone, so you want to make sure you're on their gearbox going into 2 and find a way to get underneath them to avoid the aero wash and get a good run into 5.
And that's interesting, right? For those of you who may not have raced yourself or don't know a lot about the racecraft, a pass in turn 5, it doesn't start in turn number 5. Like you said, it starts in turn 1. You're trying to roll more speed, so you're up on that gearbox. You have to be close enough in turn 2 and through the Alabama roller coaster so you can get that run down to the inside coming into turn number 5. Now, listen, you obviously ran a couple of USF Juniors races on Thursday and Friday. What's it like mid-race to push like that? Because obviously the tires are always changing and degrading a little bit. You talked about that. You get in a comfort zone of the speed you can roll through turn number 1, but you're always trying to push for a little bit more, right? The car's getting lighter, as you know, with fuel. How hard do you push it? Like, are you on the edge all the time coming through that corner?
So you want to find a rhythm, especially for that complicated section like 1-2, because if you make a mistake, then the guy behind you is going to be right up on your bumper. So you want to try and be as consistent as possible and manage yourself, saying, okay, I another half-tenth here, and I know it's not going to be a risk this time, but I don't want to continuously do that every single time, because then you're prone to mistakes that way. So.
Yeah, good insight from Nick D'Orlando joining us here in the PA booth at Barber Motorsports Park for this final round of the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship here at Barber. Nick runs for DC Autosport with Kate Motorsports in the USF Juniors program. We're watching the lead battle, or the lead run there. Not actually the driver out front. The first driver you saw is actually Billy Fraser. He had some nose damage after contact coming through 7, 8, and 9. The team, Exclusive Autosport, able to get a new nose on the machine. But he has not got the luck of potentially having a yellow flag, an issue on the racetrack as of yet. So he's still back in the 19th position. That'll definitely be a hurt to his championship points. He had a great run yesterday to second that moved him to P2 in the championship standings. But, a lot of times everybody's going to have an issue throughout the season. You just got to be able to fight back from something like this. The next round, of course, on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in mid-May as we head to Indianapolis for the month of May. The most exciting time for motorsports in North America. Looking forward to getting to IMS. And I know all the drivers love that racetrack as well. A lot of opportunities to overtake at IMS on the road course. Jones still out front, 1.3 seconds. Jagger looking to try to stretch away. And again, one of the legendary names in terms of American motorsport, the Jones family. Jagger, actually the grandson of the iconic Parnelli Jones. Father P.J. Jones, a driver with a massive resume as well. A tremendous driver. The talent, obviously, in the genes in the Jones family. We had a chance to talk to Jagger a little bit yesterday. I had the Kate Motorsports drivers at the Cooper Tire stage in the fan zone and talked to Jagger about that. You carry this last name, the Jones name. What does it do for you? How does it affect you anyway? Is it more pressure? And he was very honest in saying, he's obviously proud to hold the name, but he's making the Jagger Jones name. This is what he is. He's here for his racing career, which I think is awesome. Jagger was a top driver in karting, won a number of championships in the cadet category. Instead of moving into the road to Indy like so many drivers do, he actually went stock car racing did a bunch of top-end stock car racing on the West Coast. And then decided the time was right to make the move into the road to Indy. We talked to him last year at New Jersey Motorsports Park late in the season. Let me know that the plan was to try to do some testing and get dialed in. And, of course, with one of the best teams in the paddock, Kate Motorsports, they've won, 8 or 9 of the last 12 championships in this USF 2000 program. So these guys, Dominic and Nicholas Kate, can get the job done. And Jagger looking to try to do it here as well. Jones, 1.3 seconds last time by as the leader here over his teammate D'Orlando. So Kate Motorsports running 1-2 now. Christian Weir, 3rd spot. Miles Rowe, 4th. Simon Sykes in 5th. Nicky Hayes didn't lose that much room. Remember, he was ahead of Jace Denmark in 7th. Only fell back into the 9th spot. So even though he went off in turn number 1, not that much damage for Nicky Hayes. Still running top 10. Billy Fraser putting those fast laps down still. You look at his lap times. I think Billy Fraser is the fastest driver on the racetrack right now. 1:23.19 last time by. He was 0.2 of a second quicker. Indeed, he's got the fast lap of the race. Billy Fraser, fast lap. There's a bonus point for that, at least, for Billy, which will help him in the championship battle. Nick, let's come back to you, because I know you had some struggles at Ozarks, right? You haven't had the easiest time of it yet in USF Juniors. I know you haven't really shown, I think, all that you're worth. You know that. I know that. What's it like when you're out there like that? You've had an issue. What kind of anger, what kind of frustration do you have that you go out and you put that fast lap down, right? You're by yourself out there.
There's definitely a lot of frustration when you have a problem. You have to come into pit lane in the middle of a race because your position it's over. You're not in the running anymore. But you got to be able to keep that anger,
channeled, right?
Yeah, you got to channel that anger, and you got to keep it down, because you don't want to get angry, and you don't want to start over driving. You want to keep your head about you. And I think Billy's doing a fantastic job of that, because as we can see here, he's consistently putting good laps down, lap after lap after lap. Even this next lap, I think he even went quicker than before.
Yeah, another 123-1 again.
Oh, and we went red.
Oh, double yellow. We've got double yellow on the racetrack here right now. Driver off here between turn number 4 and 5. There it is right there, coming out of turn number 4. So double yellow here at start-finish. Live timing showing red flag, but I'm seeing double yellow at start-finish. This one shouldn't take too long. In fact, the driver firing up already. That is the number 8 of Danny Dzelski, who has been able to get things fired back up again. So there you go. This is welcome for Billy Fraser, as he's going to get an opportunity to catch all the way back up around to the tail of the field. He'll have to drop the hammer to get back around. Full course yellow coming out here for Danny Dzelski, going off, coming out of turn number 4. Likely a spin, and then able to continue. Like I said, he was off the racetrack. The AMR safety crew heading back to their spots already. Billy Fraser will be the hammer down. In fact, here he comes down the front straightaway. Fraser trying to catch back up to the tail of the field. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get back around. I would assume that we'll likely go back to green right now, but Fraser's hammer down, trying to get himself back around here. Jones is the leader as they work their way out of turn number 14 to number 15 here. Jones the leader, D'Orlando running in second, Christian Weir in third, Miles Rowe fourth, Simon Sykes in 5th spot, Thomas Naveau in 6th, 7th is Jace Denmark, 8th Jacob Douglas, 9th Nicky Hayes, and 10th is Dylan Christie. We're right back to green. Not enough for Billy Fraser to get back to the tail of the field, as the incident did not need the big cleanup, and maybe it wouldn't have happened anyways. If we had to clean something up, we may have ran out of time. 3:30 still to go. So the restart as they come back down through the Alabama roller coaster again allows Jagger Jones to get the lead, but D'Orlando not close enough to make a move. Weir trying to come in. Simon Sykes looking to the inside, down the bottom of the racetrack alongside Miles Rowe. They're side by side coming out of turn number 5, and not quite enough for Simon Sykes, but he's going to go to work as they get themselves out of 5 over to 6, 7, and 8. Sykes right on the gearbox of Miles Rowe. Fraser, as we said, just not able to get back around to the tail of the field. He needed another yellow flag lap to be able to get that done. Tough one for Billy, but he'll get 1 spot ahead of Danny Dzelski. Less than 3 minutes remaining in this one, so a couple of laps I would expect here. Maybe 3 laps remaining, I think here. Lap times right now around the 1:23 mark, so I would say potentially 3 laps remaining in this race for USF 2000. That was the first yellow flag that we've had all weekend in Road to Indy. We didn't have a yellow flag at all in USF Juniors, both green to checker. Kudos to those drivers. Amazing for the youngest pilots here of this program. We did not have a yellow flag yesterday either. Both races going green to checker, and that one just one lap long. Jagger Jones out to a half a second lead here on the restart, able to get on the throttle coming down the hill to go back to green. Great job for him. And again, final couple of laps for USF 2000. What a difference. I thought we'd be running potentially in super wet conditions this morning with the rain that hit this racetrack, but dried up super quickly. The blue skies have come back. Gorgeous right now. Driver's gone around. We got a spin, contact in turn 5. Can he get that car refired? He does. That driver went around from some contact coming down to turn number 5. We are almost 3 wide up front. They're going to make it exciting here just outside. I think that's actually 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th on back. Yeah. Jones has gone out front. Michael D'Orlando stacking and packing him behind him right now. D'Orlando's got work to do. He's actually clean. That's a little further back. The Cape car is all white, so you got to pick them up at the right time. That's the next group back. That is going to be, I believe, potentially Nicky Hayes on back. Here's your leaders. Let's see if D'Orlando can dig in here a little bit. Gap was a half a second last time by. A white flag flying. Final lap on the racetrack. Final lap. I don't see a battle right now here inside the top 6. There's this next group I was talking about, though. They are a lot closer. Yeah, that is essentially Hayes, who's got by Jacob Douglas. Nicky Hayes in 7th. Douglas in 8th spot. Final lap on the racetrack. Sykes has been putting pressure on Miles Rowe. Can he get the job done coming down here to turn number 5? Does he send it down the bottom? He does. Oh, a little right front lock up there for Sykes, but doesn't get the car quite rotated. Back up the hill. Final lap here for the drivers in USF 2000. Hayes doing a great job to get back up into 7th. Jacob Douglas, I believe, running in the 8th position now. And look at these drivers on top of each other. Gearbox to nose cone all the way through 7 and 8. Yeah, Sykes is right there again on Miles Rowe. Look at him right on the gearbox. Can't even see him as they come up the hill. There's only a couple opportunities to make the pass. Sykes trying to roll that Legacy Autosport machine out of here. Not quite close enough through 13. Down the hill will be the final run for him. But here he comes, folks. His first ever Road to Indy victory. What a run from going to the front early. Cape Motorsports driver Jagger Jones winning race number 2 here at the Cooper Tires Grand Prix of Alabama. Twin checkers from Aaron Likens at start-finish. Jones puts that name back into victory lane in Road to Indy competition. Jagger Jones, his first career victory. Michael D'Orlando makes it a Cape Motorsports 1-2. D'Orlando going to jump up nicely in the championship battle as well. He'll take that result. Christian Weir ends up in 3rd. His best result. First podium for Christian Weir on the Road to Indy. Miles Rowe, another great finish for him. 2 wins followed up by a 4th. He will, I believe, maintain the point lead. Simon Sykes, a strong run to 5th. Thomas Naveau in 6th. Nicky Hayes in 7th. Jacob Douglas 8th. Dylan Christie in 9th. And Jackson Lee in 10th. Trouble for Jace Denmark on the final circuit, the final couple of circuits. He ends up all the way down in 18th. That moves Billy Fraser up into 17th spot with the fast lap of the race. So indeed, an interesting event there for the drivers in the USF 2000 Championship. There's your unofficial results. Jagger Jones, Michael D'Orlando, Christian Weir on the podium. Miles Rowe into 4th. Simon Sykes in 5th. Thomas Naveau, Nicky Hayes, Jacob Douglas, Dylan Christie, and Jackson Lee at Cape Motorsports 1-2. You run for DC Autosport with Cape Motorsports, so the boys will be pretty happy about a 1-2 result here today.
They definitely would be very happy about that, Rob. Michael and Jagger both did a fantastic job out there 1-2 the entire time. Jagger's going to be super proud of himself, I believe. So, he got out front early, led the entire race, pretty much start to finish. So, definitely good result for Cape Motorsports today.
Nick D'Orlando, thank you very much for joining me, bud. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
There he is, Nick D'Orlando, folks, from USF Juniors. That wraps things up here, folks. IndyCar pre-race coming up here momentarily, so we'll go to victory lane. Thank you so much for tuning in to the live broadcast here on Road to Indy TV. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.